Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we living. I had previously each Thursday been doing a series called Is He a Hall of Famer, where I take a look at a player who many consider on the fence as to whether they belong in their sports Hall of Fame. Take a look at their career, give my final verdict. Of course, I like hearing from you guys, your opinion on whether they should make it. I've taken a little break from it. Might continue to do so, but I thought I'd bring it back today with the NFL season beginning. Chiefs Lions in about an hour and a half. So I'm going to do a former Kansas City Chief in what is the 29th episode of Is He a Hall of Famer? We are going to do running back Jamaal Charles. Charles was selected in the third round with the 73rd overall pick by the Kansas City Chiefs in the 2008 NFL Draft, played collegiately with the Texas Longhorns. Charles went on to play 9 seasons with the Chiefs from 2008 to 2016. Man, I wish we could have seen him with Patrick Mahomes. This was prior to Mahomes joining the Chiefs. 2017, played with the Broncos, ended his career by playing 2 games with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2018. Let's take a look at his career stats via his Pro Football Reference page. Now, they're not going to blow you away, where, some people might say, oh, they're rather pedestrian numbers for a guy debating whether he should be in the Hall of Fame or not. But there's one number in there that definitely stands out. So just 119 career games. You figure in the 16-game season, that's about 7.5 full seasons. 7,563 rushing yards. Well, there's guys with over 10,000 rushing yards not in the Hall of Fame yet. Only 44 rushing touchdowns, not exactly a high number there, but a number that pops out, 5.4 yards per carry, an absolutely historic number from the running back position. More on that in a little bit. We take a look at his season-by-season numbers. Unfortunately, he had injuries which helped keep his career totals lower than they could have been. But despite that, he still had 5 seasons in which he had over 1,000 rushing yards on the year. Career high 1,509 in 2012. Did some work out of the backfield as a pass catcher as well. 310 receptions and 20 receiving touchdowns. So that's 64 total touchdowns. Sounds better than just the 44 rushing touchdowns for his career. Despite a not super high career rushing touchdown total, his 12 rushing touchdowns did lead the NFL in 2013. That season, he was named a first-team All-Pro. Also was in 2010. 2013, finished 3rd in Offensive Player of the Year voting. 2011, played in just 2 games, so the following season played all 16 games, finished 3rd in Comeback Player of the Year voting. Also was a second-team All-Pro. So 4 straight seasons, really, not counting 2011 since he only played 2 games, where he made the Pro Bowl 2010 and 2012 to 2014. You look at, as I mentioned, his historic yards per carry. 2009 led the NFL, averaging 5.9. And every season except his last with the Chiefs, and he only had 12 carries in his last season with the Chiefs. You could see he averaged at least 5 yards a carry. 5.3, 5.9, 6.4, 6.9, 5.3, 5.0, 5.0, 5.1. Those historic averages gave him 5.4 yards per carry for his career. 5.5 in his 9 seasons with the Chiefs. wasn't very productive, especially that last season with the Jaguars, 6 carries for 7 yards. But again, 5 seasons with 1,000 yards. Again, did a lot in the receiving game. Had 2 seasons where he had over 1,900 yards from scrimmage, and did finish his career with over 10,000 yards from scrimmage. So again, unfortunately, you see some of those games played total 2, 5, 3. So basically, his career was for the pretty much over in 2014. Didn't even total 800 yards in the 4 seasons after that. Actually, not even 700 yards. So what hurts him is those Chiefs teams. Chiefs fans are spoiled today with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. I've won 2 recent Super Bowls, made 3, always amongst the best teams. Well, that wasn't the case when Jamaal Charles was being handed off the ball with the Chiefs. Were not very good. As you can see, he played in just 2 career playoff games, 12 carries for 100 yards. So even in that little bit of time, still averaged 8.3 yards per carry. So very little postseason success, but you can't really blame him. Wasn't on parts of good team. So I mentioned his yards per rushing attempt. So this is the career rushing yards per attempt leaders in NFL history. While it shows Jamaal Charles at 5th, if you keep it at guys who had at least 1,000 carries for their career, Jamaal Charles is first with this 5.4 yards per carry. You see 3 of the 5 guys listed are quarterbacks, and Marion Motley played in the pre-Super Bowl era from 1946 to 1955, and again, didn't even have 1,000 carries for his career. So Pro Football Reference also has something called the Pro Football Hall of Fame Monitor, where it's a metric designed to estimate a player's chances of making the Pro Football Hall of Fame using approximate value, Pro Bowls, All Pros, championships, and various stat milestones. So Jamaal Charles, unfortunately, does not rank very high there. 41.35. That's only ahead of one Hall of Famer, that being Floyd Little. A bunch of guys above him that I wouldn't really say deserve to be in over him. Guys like, MJD, Maurice Jones-Drew, another guy whose career wasn't super lengthy. James Brooks, Amon Green, good running backs, Chuck Foreman, but just guys I wouldn't consider guys very good players, but not quite Hall of Famers. And after Jamaal Charles retired, he mentioned this. This is via Pro Football Talk. Jamaal Charles, my numbers should put me in the Hall of Fame. So Charles mentioned, he hadn't officially retired from the NFL, but he didn't play after that. Some of my numbers look way better than some people already in Canton, Charles told TMZ.com. So I will say that, if you go by the career totals, as in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, they don't look better. But that yards per carry, his efficiency, running the ball was top of the notch, top notch, just historic. One particular number is the reason Charles has a chance. He averaged 5.38 yards per carry over his career, the best for any running back in NFL history. That tells you what type of player I was, Jamaal said. I gave it my all. Every time I touched the ball, I averaged 6 yards a carry, basically. He rounded up a little, and actually rounded up a little too much because he wasn't even at 5.5. But you get the point. Charles is, along with Jim Brown and Barry Sanders, one of just 3 players in NFL history to have 5 seasons with at least 1,000 rushing yards and 5 yards per carry. But Charles only had 5 good seasons in his career. In his other 6 seasons, he never even reached 400 rushing yards. 5 seasons will probably not be enough to get him in Canton, as spectacular as those 5 seasons were. So, Jamaal Charles, there is a pretty strong contingency of people who believe that he should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, especially looking at that 5.4 number. My final verdict, should he be in? And I hate saying it. I'm going to have to go no. You look at another guy whose career wasn't very lengthy or didn't play in too many games, that being Terrell Davis. Despite that, Davis did rush for 7,607 yards, which is a little bit more than Charles did. Plus, he's got the 2 Super Bowls, a Super Bowl MVP. Not all Charles's fault. As I mentioned, the Chiefs teams he were on weren't that good. But I wouldn't be bothered if Charles were to get in, especially because of that 5.5 basically yards per carry for his career. There's probably guys that I'd put him over that are currently in. I won't name them here. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think Jamaal Charles should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? He is actually eligible to be nominated for next year's class of 2024. They haven't announced the semifinalists for it, but I'll probably make a video of it once they do. We'll see if I do this series again next Thursday. I wanted to take a break mainly because I do Forgotten Athlete Friday. You could basically do that forever. Is he a Hall of Famer? You know, if I continue to do it each and every week, once I get to, let's say, 100, 125. Yes, I do multiple sports, but, I didn't want to do guys who very few consider to be Hall of Fame worthy. I really wanted guys that people are truly on the fence about. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.